Good morning. I've got to figure out what episode this is. This is something like episode 45, 46, I believe, as we've met here every Saturday morning since our life changed in March. So welcome. I'm glad that you're here. And when I woke up this morning, Friday night, I always give a good deal of thought to what occurred during the week that I can pass on to you with the idea that it's somehow useful to you. It's my idea. You know that when you make a note in the chat, it's really helpful to me because then I know who's here. So if you want to say hello, please do while I say what I have to say. There's so many reasons to come to a yoga practice, aren't there? And there's so many motivations, all of which are valid as to why to practice. And I was considering this morning my own motivation and how I began practicing regularly in 1989. I had been somebody that had done a lot of searching, and mostly because I had a difficult time addressing how to work with the big three: anger, sadness, and fear. And some people's practice isn't so much emotionally driven or motivated, although maybe over time and with practice, people discover, and you may be one of these people, discover that there's a greater steadiness or a greater joy or ease that comes from a regular practice. But for me, I noticed immediately, probably the first class, that this could be a way for me to address successfully address what I had going on inside. So I wanted to especially look at the concept of self-compassion. So in the Brahma Viharas, which are in the Yoga Sutras, or the Four Immeasurables, which are in Buddhist philosophy, we see compassion, the ability to be with suffering. And self-compassion is such an interesting idea that sometimes we want to be able to be with our own suffering, actually quite often, right? Let's be honest. And so as a vinyasa practitioner, which means, or a flow practitioner, what it means is that we don't have a set series to come to. And then how would one choose how to move? Let's say you're practicing on your own at home. How would you decide what postures and what transitions are useful to you? And the way that I've done this is by addressing, when I come to the mat, well, how am I feeling? And not how am I feeling as a story about what I did or what was done that affected me, which is where we tend to go first. But what sensations are present in my body, and particularly sensations that really, at the heart of it, there might very well be some emotion or something to look at. And for me personally, you're different, likely. Sometimes what we'll feel is here at the heart. Sometimes we'll feel in the belly. Sometimes in the throat. I tend to collect like a little garbage container when I'm working in the world and I'm working with other people. I will collect emotion in this area. So this particular area for me, I've got to watch to be sure that it doesn't get too filled up, because that could very well lead to emotional spillover or illness. So it's important that we all know our areas where we go. And then how the self-compassion part, how do we hold space so that hold space for ourselves, meet ourselves with compassion, and able to hold and open whatever is going on inside, such that it's able to move and express itself, and then we return to equanimity, steadiness, and ease, centered, centered, centered living. I was thinking yesterday about the word equipoise. What a beautiful word that is, to be balanced. And there's a lot of balance in this practice. How we can just hang in a moment and be present and centered. Or equanimity, another beautiful word, where we're able to hold whatever it is that arises and still be present and wholehearted in our being. Yeah. So this is why we practice. This is why I practice. You have your own reasons for practicing, but I wanted to look this morning at how my practice can hopefully be beneficial to you. All right? So let's give this a shot. Why don't we begin lying back on the mat? And we'll draw the knees into the chest and wrap the arms around the legs. Allow the back to settle into the mat. We notice the breath. If you come to my classes regularly, I obviously teach what I do with myself. So what I'll do first is, this is much like child's pose, like beginner's mind. Beginner's mind, we begin by noticing what we brought to our mat this morning. We may have woken up feeling really exuberant, lots of energy. We might have woken up feeling tired. We might have concerns, but we include everything. So just notice what's here first. And make room for it. That's like one of the best things we can do around self-compassion. Make room for what's here. Good, and then release the right leg long. Interlace your fingers around your left shin, extending the right leg out. Allow the left thigh to just draw in toward the ribs. The shoulders to soften. The front of the throat to soften. The jaw to soften. And when we scan the body, we might notice areas in our body that are holding on. And then we see if we can let go just a little bit. Draw the navel to the spine, bring the right thigh in, interlace, and come to the other side, extending through your left heel. I love the idea with equanimity or equipoise, where there's full engagement and some relaxation at the same time. That helps to take out whatever striving might occur. Sometimes we strive, don't we? Good, then draw the left knee back in. Take your hands behind your thighs and extend your legs up any amount and widen your toes and push through your heels. So the back line of fascia is extending. For some of us, the knees will stay bent. Let's keep the sacrum down on the ground. Some of us will extend and straighten. Good, smooth, even breath in and out through the nose. Couple more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. Cross your ankles. Wrap once again briefly. And then let's begin to roll just a little bit. If it doesn't work to roll, you can come to the side. We'll meet on hands and knees. Let's take one more roll. Hands down, legs back, toes tuck under. Spread your fingers wide apart. Feel your whole body here. And then send your left leg back again, pushing through your left heel. And feel your hip points directly pointed downward. Good, then turn your left heel down so the sole of the foot's on the ground, and inhale, sweep the left arm up. Wingspan is quite wide. Shoulders draw away from the ears. And feel your lower ribs draw in a little bit. Okay, in toward the spine. Inhale. Exhale, perhaps you take the left leg off the ground, extending it. This is where we begin to make choices based on that information that we gathered earlier around how is the body this morning and how can I serve it? How can I serve it? Inhale. Exhale, and we might bend the left knee, and we might take the hand to the ankle. That's all your choice. Extending through the knee and drawing the left heel toward the left sit bone. Feel the sensitivity of your fingertips, the right fingertips, holding you here. And then gradually inhale, open like you're underwater. Exhale, slowly come down like you're underwater. And let's take the other side. You don't need to move. I like to face the camera. Take the right leg back. Push the ball of the foot into the ground. Become aware of the entire line of the leg. Good, then pivot the right heel to the floor and sweep the right arm up. And see if you can hold in your mind's eye, in your awareness, your entire body and space here. So one thing about self-compassion is if we've been busy in our heads, fortunately this class is early in the morning, but if it were later in the day, a lot of times we'll come to the mat busy in our heads, and it's important to take time to feel into the body again. Then, with left toes tucked under, right leg might extend. Feel left shoulder blade draw downward toward your left hip. As if you were a balloon animal, inhale into the outer reaches of your body. And then maybe bend the knee, reach back, find the ankle, draw the heel toward the sit bone. Then notice the rib cage, draw it in. Good, inhaling, opening. Exhale, slowly release, coming back down. And find your way into downward facing dog. Would you please? Tuck toes under, lift hips up and back. Let's begin with bent knees. You can really hoist the pelvis upward. Draw lower ribs in. A little outer spiral of the upper arm bones. We all inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale. Exhale. And one more.
Good, just your normal breath now. Long breath. Back and forth with the legs. Maybe the heels touch, maybe they don't. If you're newer to the practice, what will happen is often the feet and the hands are a little too close together. So if the heels are touching already, walk your feet back a little bit. Now we all attempt to ground through the heels. Maybe they're on the ground, maybe they're not. Draw lower ribs in. Press through your hands. Feel hands and feet push away from one another. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands, and step forward between your hands. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, fold. Push ground away. Inhale, come all the way up. Extending the arms, palms might touch, and then let's release the arms and come to mountain pose here. So with equal poise or equanimity, steadiness and ease, widen your toes. Notice between front and back, does it feel even to you? Side to side. We have all these interesting habits, many of which are emotionally driven, that end up expressing themselves in our posture. So we become like a mountain, extending through the arms, reaching through the fingertips. And imagining for a moment, we'll use the power of our imagination. Imagine for a moment being able to be completely steady and centered in all moments. Imagine what that would be like. See if you can translate that into your body. What does that feel like to you? Steady, present, and joyful. Let's draw the palms together. At the heart, join me in the Gayatri Mantra if you wish. Om Bhur Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonat Prachodayat. Good. Let's sweep the arms up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding forward, out, and down. Inhale, let's lengthen the spine. Hands could be on shins. Exhale, palms down. Step back, please, to plank pose. And wake up your legs. Push back through your heels. Feel the hugging going on of the bones in the legs. Pretend you have a little kangaroo tail. Extend it all the way down toward your heels. Draw lower ribs in. Have your wrists under your shoulders. And I like to pull my hands in toward each other. And then puff up the area between the scapula. Some of you will be bringing the knees to the floor at this point. And then probably lift your head because it likes to sink. Good, like you got a string attached to the back of the head. And feel your whole body here. Make room. Just feel the whole thing. Can you feel it simultaneously? Inhale. Exhale. Now everyone knees down. Slowly lower. Place your whole body down on the ground. Place the front of your feet down. Widen your toes. Take your arms back behind you. Palms face up. And just open the chest and bring your breath to top chest area. So some of these postures, well, all of them really, if we do look at the postures from an emotional standpoint, wherever it is that we place our garbage in the body inadvertently, we can use the shape of the posture to become more aware. Go in and feel that area. Maybe we lift the legs off. You might spread your toes and fingers wide. And inhale. Exhale, hands down, navel to spine, toes tuck under, push your hips back over your heels. Take a couple breaths here from your hips to your fingertips. Inhale. Exhale with toes tucked under. Send it back to downward facing dog. Waking up the legs. Now, this is also very interesting that some parts of our body are completely engaged and other parts fall asleep on their own. And we're really interested in recruiting the areas that tend to fall asleep on their own. It's called being a whole human being. We inhale, exhale, bend the knees, look past the hands, and step or float forward. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising all the way up, palms touch, maybe, and exhale, release your arms. Good. Then, take your arms up, interlace your fingers, draw the palms together, inhale, lengthen, exhale, extend to your right, opening up the whole left side of the body. Feeling rooted through the feet. Good, smooth, even breath. And so the breath is so key when we're working with emotional regulation. Does it feel smooth and even at this point? Or is it choppy at all? We don't try to change it, we observe it, and we hold it in our awareness. We inhale, rise up. Exhale, come to the other side. Sometimes it's helpful to think that you've got a block between your thighs and you're pushing into that block. Watching the breath. Where can the breath go? And then inhale, we rise up. Exhale, let's fold forward, out, and down once again. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, palms down. Please step back to plank pose. Good, wake up the whole body here. It's almost like the front of the body is quite awake, yeah? We inhale. Exhale, either knees, chest, chin, or slowly lower. And then inhale, cobra, or upward dog if you know it. Feet are so strong. Legs are so strong. Then exhale back over the toes. Let's take a few breaths here. This business of waking up the body it's a pretty much a full-time job. So as soon as we come back into a shape, where are we now? And can we watch and hold whatever it is that arises? And we inhale, exhale, bend the knees, look past the hands, step or float forward. Inhale, we lengthen the spine. Exhale, slowly fold. And then inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, release the arms. Pause again in mountain pose, feeling yourself here. Right, so mountain pose is so fascinating because each time we come in, we may notice that we go right back to the habits that we often have. And this business of including whatever it is here is so critical in the process of having compassion for ourselves. Because we spend so much time trying to make ourselves different or push away parts of ourselves that we don't want to feel. We just hold it all. Hold it all. We draw the palms together at the heart, and let's just come into a chair position. So the feet are rooted. The fingertips might graze the floor. We'll sweep the arms up and then send it back into your heels. Feel the heels press. You might even look down and widen the toes if they do that. As we gather heat. It's a cold, rainy day where I am. So it's a good day to gather some heat. And then we bring the palms together at the heart. We'll come up onto the balls of the feet and establish a steady gaze. And feel as though the pelvic floor has lifted up a little bit, like you've got a string. We're back to the marionette principle. The lower ribs draw into the spine. We are gazing steadily in one place. Remember the block between the thighs. And we notice, can we be steady and filled with ease here? Maybe for a few breaths. Can we watch as the body works itself out? How quiet can we get in a posture like this? And then the heels root, and we inhale, rise back up. Exhale, folding forward, out and down. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, palms down, step back. Either we meet in downward dog or we take our vinyasa the way that we do. And here we are. Noticing the body now. So the business of being present to what is here, I don't know, I think it's pretty exciting. Because being not present is not particularly exciting. It's the same old story in not present. We sweep the right leg up and back. Inhale. Exhale, draw the thigh into the ribs and land your foot lightly between your hands. Now push back through your heel and slowly rise. Sending the arms up if you wish. You're in a high lunge position. Probably lower ribs draw in. For most of us, that's the case. And imagine that this is mountain pose. So that same sense of quiet equanimity. All right, so let's do a little experiment. Since we're obviously working with self-compassion and equanimity, let's draw the palms together at the heart. Sweep forward so your left knee draws in toward your rib cage. And you're holding your shin. And you're holding enough so that there is engagement. The leg draws in toward the ribs, but without stress. So we're fully here. Watching the breath and feeling into the body. Can we grow the spine a little bit? Now release the leg and slowly sweep it back again like you're underwater. Come back to the lunge position, sending the arms up. Feel the breath penetrate the rib cage, side ribs, particularly just under the armpits. Let's do that again, but this time, come forward, draw knee into chest, interlace for a moment. And then place your foot anywhere along the right leg. I tend to recommend ankle, like a kickstand, the inner calf, or the inner thigh. Taking tree pose. Imagining your tree is much like mountain pose. And we practice being able to just be aware of the whole body in space. And we practice steady presence. We might notice the toes gripping a lot. Maybe we're able to soften a little bit. Inhaling. exhale, the knee draws forward, and then slowly, just like we're underwater, the left leg extends back and we come back into the high lunge. Feeling into the body. All right, shall we do one more experiment here? On the same leg, actually it may be more than one. We'll take the palms to prayer position this time, and we'll draw the rib cage over the thigh, and we'll take the left leg off, and we'll send it up and back into warrior three, the hip points turn down. Each one of these shapes asks something different from us. Can we include what's here? Be fully engaged, well, at least 80% engaged, and some sense of ease. Inhale, exhale, bend right knee slowly, land foot, rising up. It's a new posture. Inhale, exhale, hands land gradually. Now let's sweep the right leg up and back and stack the hips, please. Stacking the hips. Then we sweep the right thigh in toward the ribs, rounding the upper back. Land your foot lightly. Turn pivot. So your toes are now facing, well, probably me or your laptop. Bend your right knee and come into Skandasana. Sinking downward, right sit bone toward right heel. Some of us will be having our hands on the floor. Then we come to the other side. Slowly lowering. And then back. Yeah, imagine mountain pose here. It's a moving mountain. And then slowly back to the right side. Take your gaze toward the back of your mat. Take your hands back to the back of your mat. And send your left leg back. Pause in downward dog. Become aware of the whole body in space once again. Strong legs. Hands and feet move away from one another. Wrapping the outer upper arm bones out and down. Watching the breath. Now send the left leg up and back. Hip points level. Inhale. Exhale, rounding upper back as thigh comes in close. Close to the ribs. Foot lands. Push back through your back heel. Come up. Into a high lunge. And we quickly do a little inner tour through the body. What easily is awake and what doesn't want to play. Include it in our awareness, and then send an invitation. After all these years of practicing, I have some of the same patterns in my body that I had when I began, and I've come to be cool about it. Because the game is to wake up. It's okay, yeah? That's where the self-compassion comes in. So now, back leg comes off, and we draw forward. Draw the knee forward, interlace. As if the right sit bone were your foot. Just let it drop. Notice any locking going on. Keep the body fluid. Watching the breath, moment to moment. Inhale, exhale. Remember this business of pushing through water. Landing the foot lightly and come back up. Become aware of the whole body again. Now what's happening? Yeah, we're in the business of learning to love whatever it is that arises, certainly in our body, but also in our lives. Being able to hold and make room for whatever it is that shows up. We inhale, exhale, bring the leg forward again, draw the knee in close. Doesn't mean we have to like it. Good, but it's easy to spend a lot of time in resistance. Foot lands lightly along the inner leg. Ribs draw in. Feel your whole tree here. Good. Where is it easy to be present in your body? And where not so much? Inhale. Exhale, palms lower. Leg draws back slowly. Take your time. Some of us are addicted to speed, and we may notice this when we're working this slowly. Send the arms up again. Inhale here. Exhale, palms slowly lower. Yes? Belly to thigh. Look down, find a place to focus your gaze. Back leg comes off. Warrior three. Warrior three, and yet it's mountain because it's all mountain. And now we're here. Can we grow the warrior three? Can we bring a little more ease to all these sensations that we feel? Inhale. Exhale, lightly land the back foot. Sweep the arms upward. Inhale. Exhale, hands come to the floor. Left leg back behind us. Stack the hips, please. Keep the legs straight. Draw lower ribs in. Feel all that space you can make in the armpits. Whole body breathes. We inhale, exhale, the thigh comes in close, the foot lands lightly. We turn and pivot both feet, and then we sink down into Skandasana. Some of you will find if you interlace your fingers forward, this will help you. As we transition, come to the other side. Just moving with awareness back and forth here. Hands to the floor, perfectly fine. We include all the little idiosyncrasies in our body. And we include all the idiosyncrasies in the way our mental and emotional patterns work. You know, it's really beautiful. This expression that we are. Never again will there be this expression. Okay, I bet you've had enough of that. We'll take the sit bone, left sit bone to the left heel. We'll look toward the front of our mat. Take the hands down, right leg back, downward facing dog. Good, wake up your dog. Feel pyramid-like. Draw the tailbone back. Feel the length you're making between the vertebrae. And inhale here. Exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands. And step or float forward between your hands. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, fold, release head and neck. Push ground away. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release your arms, please. Back to mountain pose. So each time we come back to mountain, some of us have been taking mountain pose for thousands of mountains in our lives. And yet every mountain is new.
Yeah, this business about a new moment is so essential because when we're not awake, we will wrap ourselves in a story and miss successive moments of now. So what's this one like? Yeah, you know that song Feels Like the First Time? Some of you weren't alive when that song was made. It's like feels like the first time, yeah. Okay, so chair pose, sink, sweep arms up. And then either stay in chair, or some of you will draw the thigh into the ribs and cross ankle over right thigh, sinking. You might remember, those of you who were here last week, we worked on variations of this. Draw lower ribs in, lengthen spine. You can come down as deep as you'd like. And then gradually back to chair. Feel the left sole land on the ground. Right knee draws in, we cross. Feel the sit bones as if they've got eyes searching downward. Then the right foot lands slowly. Inhale, we rise back up. Exhale, let's release the arms. Okay, so let's be fair about this one. Lately, this series we've been doing, we do without a strap. But I think it could be useful to have a strap this morning if you've got one nearby. And if we use the strap, without the strap, it means that we've likely been doing the simpler variation. But let's take the strap. I'm trusting that you know what to do with the strap. Take it through both loops and then back through the second loop. Or you can just wrap it around your ankle. And we'll take the strap to the ball of the right foot and lift up. So we talked a little bit about the pelvic floor being lifted. The spine is long, so it's mountain again, yeah? The gaze is steady. The left hand might land on a hip. And the leg extends out. The right shoulder is still in alignment. Some of us will have the knee bent a little bit because we're down here and we can't bring it up. No problem. Bend it. I like to widen my toes. Some of us will be tempted to hold the strap with both hands. I suggest not doing that. Just one hand. We work less. We inhale. Exhale. We'll turn the gaze to the left as the leg moves to the right. And the right sit bone roots. And we find a sense of equanimity here. Holding whatever's here. And then we draw the leg back to center. And the left hand holds the strap. The right hand releases. And we turn the gaze back behind us to the right. The right arm extends back. And then gradually we make the gaze come back to center and we release the leg. And let's switch sides. Okay, so strap around ball of foot, just under the ball toward the arch. Sweep it out. Find the mountain. Mountain pose kind of says ready for anything. I can hold whatever you've got. Give me a storm, I'll still be here. Good, you're tall
and you're steady. We inhale, exhale, leg moves out to the left. You can feel how the left sit bone kind of winds underneath and forward a little bit. It drops, the gaze moves to the right. Feel that space. The whole body, hold the whole body in your awareness. Include whatever's here. We inhale, come back to center. Keep the left sit bone rooted. Switch now, right hand. Turning, turning, turning. Feel how the whole vault of the rib cage moves to the left. Left arm can extend back. Feel the thighs draw in toward each other. Inner thighs. And then look forward. And release. Okay, back to mountain pose, please. Sweep arms up, inhale. Exhale, fold forward, out and down. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, palms down, step back, either meet in downward dog or lower through a vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale, back. Smooth, steady breath. Find the length in the spine. Strong legs. Sweep right leg up and back. Stack your hips, please. Inhaling, come up onto the ball of the left foot, and then right knee to right wrist. Preparing for pigeon pose. Remember a few weeks ago, many of us placed a bolster or pillows under the right sit bone, so we had a little bit of height here. And I do recommend that, especially if you find this happening where the pelvis turns. So we still want the hip points forward. Good, so find your pigeon. Then fingertips light on the floor. Inhale, pull your rib cage forward. Exhale, gradually fold over the right leg. Sinking. So the business about holding the whole body in our awareness, if we can do that, then we're aware when one part is taking too much of the stress, and we adjust accordingly right away, because that's an act of self-compassion. So can you feel from the big left toe, those toes all the way up the leg, into the body? And there's an inward mountain pose happening here. Now we might adjust this. We might walk the torso over to the left a little bit. Keep the right sit bone rooted. The lower ribs draw in. And some of us might take the torso then over to the right, feeling that. I think that one of the great advantages of an asana practice is that we learn how to meet physical sensation, holding it in our awareness, and then we become more attuned at meeting emotional sensation and holding it in our awareness. Now we'll gradually rise up into the more traditional variation with the fingertips on the floor. Lift the chest, root the legs. Roll onto the right sit bone, please. Sweep the left leg forward and grasp the outside of the left foot. Root the sit bones down, grow the spine, as if this were mountain. Good. Mountain at the sink when we're doing dishes. Mountain in the car. Mountain when there's conflict. Mountain when there's drudgery.
Mountain watching the news. Mountain in our friendships. Good, then bend left knee and take left knee over right knee. So we're now in Gomukhasana. Some of us will lie back here in that figure 4, interlacing. From here, right arm extends up, left arm comes around the back. There's an internal spiral of the left arm. Sweep it back. You could use the strap, grasping. Inhale. Exhale. Mountain in your cow face pose. Yeah, go slow enough to feel. And then when you meet resistance, include it and be kind. We're kind to ourselves. So this business about being kind to others, we all know. It begins here. Some of us have long-standing habits of being really rather unkind to ourselves. That's okay, since we're all in the same boat. We can reverse those tendencies over time. Then feel the sit bones root as we rise back up. Now just pull back a little bit. This is not in Light on Yoga, BKS Iyengar's book. We'll take the legs up. Easy rider pose. Pull the feet away. So I should say the feet pull away and the hands pull the feet. The shoulders draw down. We get long in the spine. And then we unwind all that business and send the legs long for boat pose. It could be that the knees are bent. We could hold the thighs. We find our mountain in our boat. That's how we kind of know which variation is right for us. Can there be a mountain pose? Doesn't mean that there isn't shaking or trembling. Can we be steady and present? Cross ankles, go slow. Draw the thighs into the ribs. The hands land. Now lift the whole body up and round the upper back. Feel as though your hands are supporting you here if possible. And then sweep legs back, downward facing dog. Pause in your dog. Put yourself back together again. Then sweep left leg up, stacking the hips. Feel your shoulder points level. Draw navel to spine. Inhale. Exhale, thigh in close. Knee lands. Use the bolster if you wish. Drop your right thigh. Appreciate the idiosyncrasies on this side. It may be a very different side for you. Good. Pull your mat with your fingertips. Take your breath high up into top chest. Exhale, folding forward slowly. We know that with these relaxation poses, well, this isn't a relaxation pose for everyone, but it is for many. It's easy for the mind to drift. But we're still here, steady and present. Then maybe the torso moves over the left leg just a little bit, just looking for different sensations and then welcoming what we find. This is critical, I think. Well, it has been for me because, well, emotions are tricky, aren't they? So sometimes an emotion that could look like anger and a whole story about how somebody has wounded me, when I look a little bit deeper, it might be there's sadness under there, or it might be that there's fear under there. And that if we're able to meet whatever it is that does come up, We can tour through and include. It's like a flower opening. Doesn't feel like that often. Often what we'll end up with, if we keep going, is a sense of love or compassion, because we've made room for whatever the hard thing was that we were going through. I'm not saying that's necessarily that fun of a process. However, it works. We might come all the way over to the right. Feel what that's like. Then we come back to center, reaching up with the chest. Have the bend be in the upper back as opposed to the lower if possible. Yes, then root into the left sit bone, draw your right leg forward. Grasp the foot if it's possible. Root the sit bones down, grow the spine. Knee could be bent. Send the arm back. Release the shoulders. Feel the whole body here in space. Include whatever it else is that shows up. Good, then turn, face your foot. Take right leg, bend the knee, knee on knee, or lie back, figure four. Left arm sweeps up, right arm, thumb turns down, reach back. Strap or grab. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Good, meet whatever's here now. Watch how it gradually opens and changes. Present to each breath. Good, then feel your coccyx, that tip of your tailbone, move toward your pubic bone as you come back up. Release hands, rock back slightly, grasp outside of feet. Pull with your arms, so almost like your blades are trying to draw together. Push the feet away, create a little resistance. Depends how high you want your handlebars. And what you want to feel in this huge external rotation of your thigh bones. Then gradually unwind that, draw the knees in close. Send the legs up any amount, come to boat pose, find the mountain in it. We just watch as the heat rises, all those sensations, the flurry of sensation. Here for all of it. We bend the knees, the feet land on the ground, the hands come back behind us. Fingers probably point toward the hips. In some special cases, it's easier for some of us to have the fingers turn away. We rise up into reverse tabletop. And some of us might extend one leg out in front of us. Feels okay for the neck, you can release head and neck back. Either stay in reverse tabletop, or if you took the right leg forward or one leg forward, switch your legs. Sole presses. Inhaling. Both feet land, exhale, the sit bones come to the floor. Take your arms forward now, and one vertebrae at a time, we gradually make our way down. Good, just release to the floor for a moment, coming onto the back. Now feel the whole body here.
And as you feel into the whole body, remember I said early, imagine it's like a balloon animal. Feel a whole body, and if there's any particular place where there's still some sensation, like the vestiges of any emotion that we've been working with that's been challenging, see if you can kind of come up with a shape that might address that. So I was talking earlier about top chest area, so back bend's wonderful for me to help open and feel from the inside out. But check for yourself. So we'll do one last posture, but it's the posture that really serves your body and your inner body this morning. And if you're not quite sure, no worries. I'll give us a posture that's just like one of the best postures on the planet. The arms are in close, and we'll come to bridge pose, rooting the feet and lifting the hips. Drawing the sternum toward the chin, the face is flush with the ceiling. The feet are strong, and we remember back body strong, front body soft. But we're all exactly where we need to be right now, whatever posture we've chosen. And we find the mountain in this posture by being able to include whatever it is that's here. Right? This is how the process of discernment works, where we choose our action wisely, as opposed to just reacting like a pool ball on a table. We might lift the heels off, and then we might slowly find our way down if we were in bridge pose. And if you're coming down out of something else, make your way down, and then send your left leg long. Draw the right knee into the chest, interlace the fingers around your knee, and sweep your leg over to the left. Many choices here. We'll keep the blades down. Some of us will just keep this knee bent. Some of us might reach toward the outside of the right foot, extending the leg long. Feeling how the breath sweeps itself through this shape. We take nothing for granted. Imagine that. Imagine taking nothing for granted for real. We take stuff for granted all the time. We slowly make our way back. Let's switch sides now. Left knee in. Around we come. Choose your supine twist. This is the part where if we were at the studio, I would come around to your top hip and I would likely pull it away from your rib cage. Imagine that were the case. Inhaling. Exhale, gradually unwind that. And we come onto our backs. And we take the legs long. We turn the palms up and we slide the blades down. And we come to Savasana. And there's still this sense, even though we're completely relaxing the body now. Might start at the top of the head. Slowly make your way down. There's still this steady presence, but we've taken the effort out. It might be one reason why it's said that Savasana is such a challenging posture. So letting the body relax, and yet we're completely present in the moment. Feel your whole body like a balloon animal once again. Remembering all this spaciousness that makes up the cells, make up the different
organ systems, ligaments, tendons. And imagine letting me disappear for a moment. Just feeling into the verb of the breath. The heartbeat. The thoughts that come and go. The sensations that come and go. And here we are, here for it all. When the mind wanders, we're very gentle about it, very tender. We're all in the same situation with that mind. Gently bring it back to this breath. And some of you might choose to stay right where you are. It's Saturday morning. And if you're ready, you can bring one knee at a time into the chest, wrap the arms around the legs. Mingyur Rinpoche says it so much better than I'm going to right now, but what he says is, obstacles in life, a practitioner's view of obstacles is, this is such good news. This gives me the opportunity to practice. So like a mountain, we meet our lives with all of the individual challenges that we have, and we see if we can, as Krishnadas says, I think Sharon Salzberg says it too, wrap our heart around whatever's here, wrap it around the world. Take one arm up over the head, we roll to the side. Let the head rest for a moment on the arm. And removing the me, we offer whatever benefits of the practice that we've received today. Offer it away, imagine that it goes right through us to those who need it most. And we make our way up to a seat. It's comfortable. And yes, it's mountain-like. We feel what it would be like one of my other favorite teachers, Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche, says, many of us have been seeking for a long time. It's time to find. So we imagine, cultivate, what's it like to be steady and present in every moment. Steady and present and open, available to other people, available to ourselves. We make that like our life's work, this great experiment in being human. Draw the palms together. We'll close with one Om. Inhale. Om. Bring the hands to the forehead, right thought. May we be steady and may we be present. May we be joyful. The hands come to the mouth, right speech. May our words improve upon the silence. And our hands come to our heart, right action. May we be the change that we wish to see. Namaste. Okay, so that concludes episode number maybe 46. And I will see you here again next Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right? Thank you so much for spending your morning with me. Go out there, steady and present.